Hello, I'm Rain and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over the preparation process for my solo tabletop role-playing games along with what I do after I pick out the system or genre I want to play in. For me, I really enjoy prepping. This is probably where I spend most of my brain power because if I don't have a good foundation, it's extremely easy for me to lose interest in the game in the long term. A lot of people will jump in with minimal work and let the story just unfold before their eyes and they'll have a great time. I don't. I kind of struggle if I try to do something like that, and my games often lose steam pretty fast. Once I'm in a game, I want to be able to just envision my world and not have to spend my time trying to figure out what I'm playing. My preparation process tends to be divided into 3 categories. Tabletop role-playing game, like the system or genre. This is what I'll be going over in this video. My setting, character creation, documentation, which is essentially what resources I'm going to use to keep track of my game, and then my oracle, which is what's going to emulate the role of my game master. So with that said, let's get into what I do when picking out my game or my genre. Actually, I'm a little extra, and I actually have a table that I've created that I can roll on with all of my games listed. Every single tabletop role-playing game that I own is listed on here, along with TV shows that I enjoy, movies, and video games. These aren't necessarily just like my favorite games or whatever. These are specifically ones that the world interests me or that I want to explore further beyond what I've experienced of it so far, such as a TV show I really enjoy, but I feel like more could be added to it, or I just want to really explore the setting. So by using a table, I kind of force myself to try out games that I might not favor or might not be in the mood for normally. I kind of wouldn't fully recommend doing it my way unless you just really like every game that you own, and I do. I just happen to favor some games over others, especially if they're in the same genre. I tend to pick up a lot of zombie games. By now I have Zealand, All Flesh Must Be Eaten, and The Walking Dead universe RPG, and that's just a little too many zombie games. So a lot of times I'll favor one over the other two, and this just makes it more fair. And this kind of makes me also get my money's worth out of my purchases and leaving it to the hands of fate rather than me picking out what games to play. Also, just as a side note, it's also 100% viable to not play using a tabletop role-playing game system and just rolling with an oracle to replace skill checks. I find oracles that use likelihoods are really good for this. I often use this strategy for campaigns that take place in like a movie or TV show that I feel don't fit a specific tabletop role-playing game system that I might favor. But honestly, a lot of the ones that use just like attribute plus skill plus like a talent, I think are really good most of the time. I know I really like using All Flesh Must Be Eaten for a lot of my games that aren't even zombie related, just because of how the skills work in that game and how easy it is to create skills on the fly. Also on that note, it might sound cringe, but like I said, I like to play in already pre-established worlds like The Walking Dead or other shows, and use that as a bouncing off point where I might deviate with my characters, or I'll just follow the canon story and see how my characters might change this world. This works great for OCs that I've created in the past for fandoms that I love, and this can give them a more personal story besides just following the canon plot all the way through. If you're interested in doing something like this, I personally recommend Mythics Magazine issue number 20, and that issue covers this topic and it's just a great read. Once I've decided my tabletop role-playing game that I want to use, or genre, but mostly tabletop role-playing game, I'll glance over the game rules to refamiliarize myself with that information, and I'll just take small notes, usually covering the flow of the game. Kind of like a cheat sheet, but like a more condensed version. I'll consider the best times to use skill checks, the flow of combat, modifiers, and outcomes, and I'll also document page numbers in the core rulebook or supplements so that I can easily find what I'm looking for without flipping through the book or trying to navigate the table of contents. This is extremely helpful for games that don't have the best structure for their books or it's really hard to find stuff. I try not to get too detailed with my cheat sheet, and I just write stuff that I might have issues with remembering or that I think is super important. And that's really it for this step. It sounds pretty easy, but honestly, a big annoyance and a huge time waster I have while playing games is trying to remember the rules for a game. So having a cheat sheet is a huge help, especially if you're like me and you have multiple games running at once. So yeah, hopefully this helps out a little bit. And that's it for this video. Next up, I'll be going over setting and possibly character creation. If not, they'll be divided into 2 videos depending on how long it takes. That's really it for me for now. If you have any tips involving like tabletop role-playing games, genre, or even your preparation process, I'd love to hear about it because I'm always changing how I play and adding new things that I learn. So yeah, I'd love to hear about it. And yep, that's it. Keep safe and warm, everyone. Bye bye.